This evening we're going to be taking apart a Harbor Freight half-inch battery drill motor to steal the motor and gearbox out of it to drive the robot. We're going to be using 4 of these, so this is just one of the 4. This particular model, they have 3/8 models and half-inch models, and the half-inch model has a significantly larger motor. It has all metal gears in the gearbox. One of the problems I've had in the past is stripping out the little nylon gears. So this should help and should give us a little bit more pep this year. They're a little bit more expensive than the 3/8 ones, but they're not terrible bad. So let's tear this thing apart and get the goodies out of it. We're going to start with pulling the case apart and pulling all the screws out. We'll have to pull the chuck off, and then we'll be down to the goodies that we can actually use. So let's start pulling some screws out here. Alright, so here we are. We're down to the goodies that we were looking for. And we'll need to take out this screw that's in the middle here. There is a Phillips left-handed screw in the middle that you have to take out in order to take the chuck off. So obviously, since it's left-handed, you got to turn it backwards. And there it is. And then the chuck just comes off. We'll save the battery connector and the power switch for some future project, who knows what. But this is what we were getting to. We're not going to use all of it on this particular project, but that's it. So I don't have one of the old gearboxes to show you the comparison, but this is the only ring gear out of one of them. In this case there was only one, and it went this way and pretty much only had 2 stages of gears in it. This one has 3, I believe, in it, and 3 different ring gears. One of them is for adjusting the high or low speed. This is the old motor from one of the 3/8 drills compared to the motor in the half-inch drill. You can see quite a difference. So these are definitely an upgrade from the old 3/8 ones. So let's go ahead and continue on with taking this apart and see if we can make some progress towards the final goal, which is going to be a gearbox and wheel and mount to be able to drive a little remote control robot. It's interesting. I hadn't seen that piece before. Spring. This is all the clutch mechanism, and you'll see in the clutch the spring and these ball bearings are what drive the clutch that lets it slip when you hit a screw too tight, or if you're drilling, the drill bit hangs up and the clutch lets go. That's what's happening. You've got a ring gear inside that looks very much like this, and the ball bearings hit on these surfaces and it kind of jumps, and or it allows it to rotate. The ball bearings actually jump. So made it a little bit further. You'll notice that we've got 2 pins on the side. These pins hold in the shifter. This is the shifter that shifts between high and low gear on the gearbox. We're going to be using low gear, which I believe is with the pin forward, so the bail back. In order to get it apart, you can't get to the screws you can see here with the bail in there, so we've got to pull the pins first, then this bail, then we can pull screws. The motor, however, will come out just by twisting and pulling, which lets you get the pins halfway out. Got a pair of pliers here, we'll go ahead and pull them out. Okay, so we have the motor and we have the guts. First thing in here is the pinion gear from the motor that actually drives all of this. It actually is a D shaft, so it fits on there, and that's what drives everything. We've got a bit of a washer here. I'm going to be taking all of these parts out and putting them through the parts washer to get this grease off of them so I can clean them up, and eventually we'll put some quality bearing grease back in there. This is your first ring gear that the first stage rides in. It's these gears here. Then we've got one of the planetary gears here, and I may entirely be using the wrong terminology for some of these gears. I accept that fact. So we have this one, drives into the second stage, which is smaller gears, and another planetary. We have another ring gear here. Now this ring gear is the one that is actually driven back and forth by the bail. The bail connects to this switch on top of the unit that tells you which, if you're in low or high speed. So let's go ahead and pull this bail off so it's out of the way. And you kind of have to, you got to take off one side at a time, both sides at the same time, really. You can't take it completely off, or the little hook in there kind of turns back up into the plastic and you can't get it out at all. So you just can't take off one side entirely. Now we're down to where we can get to the actual screws that hold the next section together. And so we've got the ring gear that's in there. We've got another washer. And another set of gears, another ring gear, another planetary in there, and the other ball bearings for the clutch. We're not going to be using the clutch. We're actually going to use some set screws to override the clutch to keep it from ever letting go. So let's pull these out. And you have here, and I was kind of hoping all of this wouldn't fall out like that, but it did. You have here in the bottom, this last planetary actually drives a D-shaped piece, kind of a double D-shaped piece. There's the ring gear, and here's what it drives. You've got this piece in here. There's a washer underneath it. There were two of these pins. One fell out. The pins are actually an anti-rotation device that keep it, if you try to drive it from the chuck end, it keeps it from rotating. But there's actually enough in the gearbox, enough friction that those really aren't necessary. We're not going to be putting them back in for our project. So this is the piece that drives, and you can see there's another washer that it fits up in there like that, and then the shaft itself is double D shaped so that it fits into here, and this drives the shaft. Let me find a paper towel here and get some of this grease off my hands. Okay, in below here, the rest of it is held in with a little retaining ring. We're just going to use our little retaining ring pliers. Pull that ring out. We definitely want to save that. And then the shaft with a whole lot of small ball bearings, which were originally the bearing for the shaft on the outbound side here. There was a washer in here underneath the ring, and then you have this shaft. Now, this particular drill motor is actually different than the last one I took apart. The last one I took apart didn't have the ball bearings in there. It had a much shorter bushing that's in there, and the shaft out of it looked like this instead of just a plain shaft, which is interesting that I pulled both of these off the shelf side by side. They're the same model drill. They were, like I said, right one in front of the other on the shelf at Harbor Freight. So you really don't know what you're going to get into until you open it up and see. Either way, we'll still be able to use this one. We'll just treat it like we did the other one, except that in this case I'm going to have to machine that bushing down a bit to fit the design. But that's it. So here's your output shaft, and you could screw something on there and then put your left-handed screw back in there and call it a day. Use that as a hub for a wheel. We're actually going to be manufacturing a new shaft for this to take care of that with the wheels that we have been using for a while now. The new shaft is going to look a little different. I have a drawing here, and I need to redo the drawing, but that's it. Not completely to scale, but this end of the shaft is pretty much the same as the other shaft. It's got the ring groove and the double D, and a little bit of extra space in here for that. And then this, I had it set 3.5 inches to drive double wheels. We've redesigned the bot a bit, and we're going to be using single wheels instead of doubles to kind of help with the width. But that's what our project is, and that's it for right now. I'm going to go clean up all these parts in the parts washer, blow them off, get them clean, nice and clean and dry. Then we'll tackle making a shaft. All right, thanks.